welcome everybody to the, good Lord, July 22nd meeting of the Planning Commission for the City of Denison. Where has this year flown by? I'm telling you. We're glad you're here with us this morning. Just a little housekeeping this morning. It's our tradition that we begin our meetings with invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would care to join us, we'd ask that you would stand with us at this time. Father, we come to you this morning grateful for the place that we call home. We ask that your blessings would be upon this meeting today. This meeting would be conducted decent and in order as you wish. And we give you thanks and praise. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, the Planning Commission is a recommending body. And on the cases today, with the exception of site plans and plats, which our decisions are final, all of our zoning cases that we'll discuss today, our decisions will be passed on to City Council for final approval, and that date will be, Ms. York?
August 4th.
August the 4th. So if you have a zoning case on our agenda this morning, the final will be before council on the 4th. We're going to give you an opportunity on our public hearings if you'd like to come forward and speak either for or against on this particular case. Then we will let you come to the lectern. I ask that you would give us your name and address for the record, and then we will probably go ahead and post the 3 minutes today, if you would, please. All right, that being said, we're going to move into item 3, our consent agenda. And for the record, myself and Commissioner Pickens were not present for the last meeting, so we'll both be abstaining from this vote. Okay, any errors, omissions, corrections that need to be made? Anyone see anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda for the meeting on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Item 4A, we will open the public hearing. Ms. York.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. The first item I have for you this morning is a request to initially zone property located along Texoma Parkway, a part of the Hunt subdivision, to the commercial zoning district to allow for the development of office, warehouse, or warehouse office. This is case number 2025-84Z. This is the subject property on the left of your screen. That's the aerial view of the property in question, and on the right is the zoning aerial for property that this is adjacent to. The area that's in the yellow, the applicant is pursuing annexation of this subject property to annex and to develop or expand the existing Lindsay Glass operations, and then also to develop office warehousing in the future. They have requested the initial zoning of commercial to follow with the zoning that is currently encompasses their property that fronts on Texoma Parkway. And in discussion with the applicant, they understand that if they pursue the office warehouse development, that a conditional use permit is required for each development in the future. Under the section 28.49, which is our use regulation chart, any office warehouse within the commercial zoning district requires that conditional use permit. The future land use plan does designate this area to be developed in a mixed commercial manner, and the zoning request does comply with the future land use plan. As I mentioned, the applicant also submitted a voluntary annexation request. This request will precede this zoning item at City Council on August 4th. Upon approval of the annexation, City Council will take action on the zoning if the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends that it moves forward. Staff recommends approval of the request. I started a little rocky, so if you have any questions, please let me know, and the applicant is here as well.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Okay. Is the applicant here this morning? That's us. Okay. Would someone like to come and
Good morning. My name is Justin Melton. I'm one of the owners and the general manager of Lindsay Glass.
Okay. Anything you want to add to what staff has presented to us?
I really don't. We've had a lot of back and forth with the city on this, on getting this process going. I think everything's on track. Just really looking forward to adding a commercial business park to Denison.
Okay. Any questions of the speaker? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else here would like to speak on this case, either for or against? No one? All right, I'll close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
I move to recommend approval of initially zoning the subject property to commercial zoning district.
You have a motion?
I'll second.
Have a second, Ms. Harwell? All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's go to item 4B. We'll open the public hearing on that one.
Thank you, sir. Item 4B is a request for a conditional use permit for property located at 1201 South Austin Avenue. The property is zoned commercial and falls within the Austin Avenue Overlay District for the operation of an automotive repair shop. Case number 2025-93 CUP. This is an aerial view of 1201 South Austin Avenue and a zoning exhibit showing that it's zoned commercial. Just for point of reference, on the left-hand side, kind of to the southeast, is Pizza Hut and Frosted Shop, if you prefer that. The applicant, as I stated, is requesting a conditional use permit to allow for the operations of an automotive repair shop. This facility has been previously utilized as an automotive repair facility. However, the use lapsed, and per the zoning ordinance requires that a conditional use permit or a new conditional use permit be requested. For the record, we don't have a conditional use permit for this operation or for this property, so this is kind of setting up the tenant and the property owner on the right track to move forward in a compliant manner. Given that this was previously a automotive repair shop, staff, the conditions that we are requesting the commission consider are pretty in line with other areas of town where it's been developed. It doesn't really allow for the substantial landscaping that the ordinance requires. We have a lot of concrete along Austin Avenue, and so it's really difficult to ask applicants as they come through to tear all that up, put in a 10-foot wide landscape strip without having some sort of master plan for Austin at the moment. So in order to mitigate some of those visual aesthetic ordinances that we like to see as we're coming into our downtown center, or coming into Denison, period, staff is requesting that a couple of conditions be placed on this conditional use permit. One of those being that landscape planters are placed along the front of the existing structure, absent of the city right-of-way, to satisfy landscaping. It's hard to see, but I don't know exactly how many feet, but a good portion of that frontage along Austin is right-of-way, and so we want to make sure that the right-of-way is walkable. The landscaping planters aren't getting hit by cars or falling over because cars are coming by. So we're asking that they install those planters closer to the frontage of their existing structure to satisfy that landscaping requirement. This is similar to another automotive repair facility on Armstrong. I don't know if you've driven by that one. They've satisfied those requirements for that conditional use permit, and so staff, as well as the applicant, would like that to be of similar landscaping requirements. On the west side, on the back side of this property, you can see probably more from the zoning exhibit, there are some residential properties. So we just want to ensure that the screening between the residential properties to the west is adequate and satisfies the screening requirements of the zoning ordinance. With this condition being placed on the conditional use permit prior to the CO being provided, staff can go out and verify that the screening meets the ordinance. And if it's not, then the applicant would need to move forward with submitting a fencing permit and then constructing that fence. Additionally, we want to ensure that parking spaces are appropriately striped and located on site and not within the city right-of-way. I do believe that Within the agenda, there are some pictures that the applicant has provided that show the parking that you kind of can see here on the south side of the building, and then there are some parking spaces located on the north side of the building. Along with that, the discussion with the landscaping, we want to make sure those parking spaces are not in the right-of-way. And so it's kind of hard to see, but they are proposing one handicap, one ADA, kind of at the front of the building. This does appear to be outside of the city right-of-way, but we would ask that no more parking be placed on the east side of the building. We're afraid it would obstruct that right-of-way. Lastly, open storage of materials or immobile vehicles or vehicles awaiting repair is prohibited. Our fear is that, given the high visibility of the location, we want to make sure that there isn't immobile cars being parked in the customer parking areas, that all of the operations or the repairs take place inside of the facility, and that any cars that are awaiting repair or, you know, outside of your typical customers coming in for an oil change or anything of that nature are not just sitting there overnight, which would be considered open storage. And so we're asking that the commission consider those conditions that I just mentioned. And if you do deem them appropriate, please include them in your motion when you make a motion. The future land use plan does designate this area to be developed in a mixed commercial manner. It also designates the area as a revitalization area. The use of an auto repair shop is consistent with the future land use plan. With those conditions that I mentioned, along with the mixed commercial designation, staff does recommend approval of the request. I'm present for any questions you may have, and the applicant is here as well.
All right. Any questions, staff? Okay. Would the applicant like to come forward?
Yes, please. Good morning. My name is Moss Youssef, and I own the 1201 South Austin Avenue property. I appreciate you guys' time this morning on giving us opportunity to talk to you. This building's been an automotive repair center for a very long time, and it has been under Denison Auto Care for past 4 or 5 years, actually like 5 years, I believe, that we had a tenant there. Unfortunately, things went south for this tenant, and that is the reason why this thing closed down. So when it closed down back in July of last year, obviously we wanted to get the right tenant in this property to make sure it's good for the city of Denison, who's a good neighbor to our neighborhood, and who's going to, you know, do good things for the city. So we took the time to try to find right tenant, and honestly, I could have put a tenant in there pretty fast, but I didn't want to just put somebody in there that may not work out for my property or for the city or for the neighborhood. So I took a little bit of time, and we came into this thing sometime in February. I didn't know, you know, there's such a thing after a few months, if you don't put a tenant in there, now we have to go through zoning issues. So I'm okay with that. We're okay with that. This building now has been vacant for almost a year. We haven't, you know, collected any type of income on this property. We are paying, you know, with honor, I'm paying taxes to the city, and I want to make sure we get this. So I went ahead, we signed a contract with a tenant. I'm under contract actually right now, but we're not collecting any type of income. I want to make sure this tenant comes in and, you know, does good things for this city. The building is great. I'm not going to say anything, you know, our building, I'm just going to talk about my building, is in great shape. You guys can, you know, you're welcome to go drive by and take a look at it. It's in great shape. I'm here to listen to you guys, to do the right things, follow the rules. We're not here. And this is not the only building I own. Actually, we own few automotive places throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Some of them we operate ourselves. Some of them we rent them out. So this is not, you know, like our first rodeo. We want to make sure we have great buildings. They're up to date. They're clean on the inside and outside. So this building is fully equipped with automotive related things or equipment, and you know, we want to put this thing back to use and you know, to benefit the city, and we want to put some employees on payroll, you know, to help the city have some people working for us. So we would appreciate if you guys allow us to open this thing as soon as possible, because man, it's hurting us, you know, it's costing us money. I have to have insurance, got to pay taxes to the city, So we would greatly appreciate if you guys allow us to continue to do what this building has been doing. I believe maybe for 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, this thing has been an automotive. So we're not trying to do anything different than what it's been. We're here to listen again. I just want to appreciate you guys if you guys can help us out.
Okay. Any questions, Speaker?
Yes. Is the tenant aware of the requirements and stipulations, especially regarding open storage is prohibited?
Yes, I have explained that, and it is something that we have in our contract, that they have to follow every city rule, whether it's grass, whatever it is. And I've, even I think I had a meeting with Mary, me and my brother, about a few months ago, that, I like to be on the deal whenever there is an issue with, let's say, city ordinance or, inspectors, whoever comes in. I want to make sure I know what's going on so I can show a sense of urgency. And I think this particular tenant is going to do the exact thing. We're going to be involved. I'm not going to just put this guy in here and then just my goal to collect rent. That's not how we operate, not any of my buildings. And we own 16 commercial. We want to be, if without you guys, these, I'm just saying, people may do a lot of crazy things. So, it's great that what the city officials push. Otherwise, we may be in trouble, as cities. So we get it. I understand. I want to be good neighbor. I want my buildings to be good neighbors, clean, and we want to do the right thing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions of the Speaker? Are there going to be any upgrades to the exterior of the building?
One more time, I apologize.
Any upgrades to the exterior of the building? You
So
gonna paint it,
it's painted actually. If we need to paint it, if it doesn't, qualify what you're
Well,
looking at,
The
it
only
was
thing I'm looking
recently
at in the
painted.
photographs, it looks like the coping around the top.
It'd be an honor to do that. I think
The paint's kind of
that corner,
everything. And
that's not going to be an issue. We can paint that. It's not a problem. I think maybe just that corner somehow we may have missed. I don't like that, but we're going to take care of it.
Well,
That's not a
we're
problem.
not trying. I'm not trying to be picky.
No,
but
not at all.
I'm just trying to. Austin Avenue is that's a major artery into downtown.
Yeah.
And we're spending a tremendous amount of money to revitalize downtown,
Yeah.
and so we're trying to improve the image coming
Yeah,
into town.
absolutely. And I like that.
So, it's important to me that whatever we approve, that is going to.
Yeah, it's
be
not a
nice
problem.
Improvement to what we have.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll ask the tenant if he likes that yellow, we'll keep it yellow. If not, if we need to paint it, let's say red, whatever he likes. Otherwise, we'll just go over it. That's not a problem. Or anywhere that it may need.
Okay. I
Done
would
deal.
just think any place that you've got metal that's been damaged or anything, anything like that, would just go over it and
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
repair it,
absolutely.
fix it.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. That's not a problem, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, I'm gonna close I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else here to speak on behalf of this request, either for or against? Nobody? All right, now I can close the public hearing and I'll entertain a motion.
I move to recommend approval of a conditional use permit to allow for the use of an automotive repair shop under the following conditions. First, landscaping planters to be placed along the front of the existing structure, absent the city right-of-way to satisfy the landscaping. Also, screening between the residential properties to the west. Parking spaces appropriately striped and located on site and not within the city right-of-way. And open storage of materials or immobile vehicles or vehicles awaiting repair to be prohibited.
Have a motion? Have a second, Larry? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We will move to item 4C. I'll open the public hearing. Ms. York.
Thank you, sir. The last item I have for you this morning is a request for a conditional use permit to allow for an accessory dwelling unit for property commonly known as 613 West Munson Street or 615 West Munson Street. Property is zoned two-family duplex residential district. case number 2025-102 CUP. This is an aerial view of the subject property on the left, and then the zoning aerial to your right. As I mentioned, the applicant is requesting this conditional use permit for an ADU or an accessory dwelling unit per section 28.49, which is the use regulation chart. An accessory dwelling unit is allowed within the two-family zoning district with an approved conditional use permit. The two-family zoning district is also the only zoning district within the city of Denison that allows ADUs, but they do require that CUP approval. The applicant wishes to remodel a small structure located on the property. You can kind of see it on this aerial, or this picture right here. They will, excuse me, per the applicant's project narrative again, the ADU will have its own water and sewer and electrical lines. And additionally, the applicant is proposing to utilize the alley for access to the ADU. Utilizing the alley does require that the alley be improved to city standards, and the applicant is aware of this and will work with the engineering staff upon approval in order to make sure those standards are achieved. These are the elevations that the applicant has proposed for that ADU. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back just a second. On this kind of site plan survey picture, they are proposing to kind of separate the main structure from the ADU utilizing fencing. And staff does have an understanding of creating that private yards for the inhabitants of the main structure and the inhabitants of the ADU. However, in discussions with the fire marshal, it is important that emergency personnel have access to the proposed ADU. Our fire trucks, our ambulances, they just can't fit down that 20-foot wide alley. And so the fire marshal will require that an improved pathway from Munson Street be constructed to the back of the property for access to the ADU. And additionally, where those fences kind of are created for the privacy, gates will need to be installed. This improved path along with those gates will ensure that if needed, a stretcher can get back there, our emergency personnel can get back there and be able to render aid to any inhabitants of that ADU. And I apologize, here are the elevations for that proposed ADU. Due to the rising cost of housing, ADUs have become a popular option for generating extra income or for finding affordable housing units. The subject property, the Munson area, has been defined by the future land use plan to be developed in a neighborhood manner. And per the comprehensive plan, these areas should be developed by way of many residential types, which are not limited to, but including single-family, detached homes, townhomes, duplexes, and accessory dwelling units. The proposed ADU does comply with the comprehensive plan and provides an affordable housing option for future tenants. I just want to reiterate that the parking, and I don't think I included the floor plan, but they are proposing this be a one-bedroom ADU, and so a one-car park driveway is what we are recommending, and they are utilizing the alley, so it does completely separate the parking from the main structure. It takes parking off the street. It should be noted that parking in the alley is prohibited. If this became an issue, then it would there could be a chance that the conditional use permit would be revoked, and then the ADU would not be able to move forward as a living unit. As I mentioned, the proposed use does comply with the future land use plan. For this reason and for the reason of the proposed separation and the parking, staff does recommend approval of the request. I'm present for any questions you may have, and the applicant is here as well.
Any questions of staff?
Nope.
Are we okay with the setbacks on this thing?
It's an existing structure.
Existing, I know,
It's so only on one end. I think it's on the east side. It's pretty close to the property line.
but it's about a foot, 8 inches off the property line.
I haven't received any concerns about that from other personnel, but it is set back a little bit more than required by the accessory structure ordinance for the alley.
Still needs to be 3 foot off the alley, right? But it's supposed to be 5 foot off the side, but it's.
3 foot from the side.
3 foot from the side too? Yeah.
But if it's an existing structure, there's,
It is an existing structure. That is something to consider, but
Could we just make sure that that east wall is a solid wall, there's no windows in it?
I think that that is a good option.
well, if they're putting an 8 foot fence there, it's gonna
Well,
be
the
fine.
problem is you can't get, if you got, I don't know that you can even get in there to build the fence. If you only got 1 foot 8 off the property line, so I would just think we need to make it a solid wall and it becomes a screening wall.
Okay.
That'll depend upon the layout though, right? If it's a bedroom, that must have
Yeah,
a
and
window,
it looks
so.
like to me that it is a bedroom, but it looks like to me there's a window on the south wall,
Right, so as long as
faces
it's
the
in
yard,
there.
so we should be fine with egress, yeah. Okay. Anything else of staff? Okay. Is the applicant here? Yep.
My name is Ilana Bennett, and I'm the owner of both the main home and the proposed ADU for 615 West Munson Street. I just finished, actually just got the approved building permit today for the main structure. Just worked the last 7 months with the city planning department getting that approved, so that's approved. So now I'm ready to move on to the ADU existing structure in the back. As for the floor plan, the east side is the alley side, correct? Oh, no.
That's gonna be your north side.
Okay. So you walk into the living room and then I don't know how to describe it, but it's 1 bedroom, open kitchen, and 1 bathroom. So yeah, so we'd love to make this an additional housing option for the city.
Actually, there's no windows on the wall anyway.
No, there's no windows on it. Doesn't look like there's any on there. It looks like those may be outlets. Yeah, the front door will be centered on it looks like to me the front door is centered on the west wall.
Adjacent to the driveway.
Yeah, coming off the driveway right into the door. And, I'm sure that building inspections is going to get involved with this as far as making sure that the windows are.
Yes, so it'll be building and fire. We'll take a look at the structure and just ensure that the appropriate ingress and egress is there and that it's meeting the fire and building code. Because this requires that conditional use permit approval, no building permits have been submitted. This requires that the permit be approved prior to drawing those plans and being submitted to staff.
Okay. Any questions of our speaker? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have anyone else that would like to speak on this request? Yes, sir.
Good morning. Oh, here. Mark Schley, the last name is Schley. I own and reside in 611 West Munson, the property that adjoins on the east side of 615. My biggest concern would be the fencing between the 2 properties that would run north and south between the accessory dwelling and the primary dwelling.
Okay,
And also we've had issues with trash and parking in the past when it was just a single-family property. So again, I just have questions about.
was that a
those things.
previous owner?
Yes. There was a renter in there.
Okay, so
That-
the previous owner rented the property out, correct?
Yes, correct. And they caused a fire between our houses.
Okay,
in 2021 because there's only a 5-foot clearance between the houses.
okay,
And it burned the whole west side of our home.
okay.
So we're talking about the setbacks on the accessory dwelling in the back. The dwelling is
Well, I
right
really
on the
think-
property
I
line.
think the accessory building is so far to the back of the lot that, it's, as far as fire, I don't think it's as.
No, I'm not,
big a
not
concern
an
as-
issue with
as
that
the
dwelling,
main
but
house
just,
is, because it's closer to you than this one's gonna be.
correct.
But, I think the fencing would have to be, there's gonna have to be some, conversation between the fire department, because we have to have access from the front to the back, so, I don't think there's a possibility of a fence between the ADU and the property line, so I think the fence will probably terminate at that point and then come up to the front. There'll be a gate at the front so that they can go down the side to the
Okay.
back unit.
And there's a tree right on the property line. I was just unaware of who had ownership of the tree, if fencing needed to be put through there.
That I can't tell you.
Yeah,
It doesn't show up on a survey, so I can't tell you that.
okay, thank you.
But, okay, I think, we'll verify. Can I ask? Are you gonna owner occupy the main structure?
No,
So you will be renting the property?
yes.
Okay? But you're gonna be the one,
I'm the realtor, property manager, and owner, so
Okay.
I'll be taking care of everything. My general contractor lives 3 blocks away, so if anything happens, he'd be on his way. I'm here to follow up and comply with all the city rules and do everything the right way for these homes.
okay, all right. So there's the answer to that question. So this property will have a property manager that is also the owner, so I would say you're gonna have a better tenant living next door to you this time around.
Okay, great.
Yes, oh yeah, I do extensive background checks and, everything, all the checks you could possibly, and then I'll give you my business card on the way out. You can feel
Oh,
free to
thank
call
you.
me.
Yes, we just wanted to make sure.
Feel free to call me with any issues. I've been in property management for 20 years, so I handle everything really quickly and smoothly and.
Okay, great. We'd just like to be a good neighbor.
It's a great improvement to the area.
Yes, definitely.
We definitely want to say that. It's-
Any other?
Yes, you've done a great job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
it looks
appreciate
nice.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question
Got a question? Hang on.
regarding the fence. Are your concerns about the height or just?
If it's, is it gonna be a privacy fence or?
Yeah, so I'm requesting to build an
8 foot.
We need
Yeah,
them to come up
yeah.
to the podium. Yeah,
We're just having a
thank you.
conversation. We could have asked you this across the.
You guys,
we can talk after.
let's
the
do
meeting.
this.
No,
Hang on, hang on. Why don't you guys go ahead and take your seat,
Okay.
and then we'll bring her back to rebut, okay?
Okay.
There we go.
Of course, no, thank you for your question. So I'm requesting to build an 8-foot privacy fence around, from, on either side, surrounding both the main house and the back house. I'm also requesting the middle fence dividing the 2 dwellings also be 8 feet, of course, with anything that the fire department needs as well. So yes, so I'm requesting to build that 8-foot privacy fence. If they'll let me go that high, otherwise 6 is okay. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other,
Yes,
any other
no.
questions, Robert? No. Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
So did we answer most of your questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Perfectly.
All right. Anyone else here want to speak on this request? Nobody? Okay. Then I'm going to close the, and this is a CUP.
Yes, so this will go to council on August 4th
Yeah.
for final action.
And just one step further, in the event that the neighbors don't take care of things, or you understand that if this turns out not to be good, like we anticipate, then there is leverage there that the city could pull the CUP. So that's incentive for the owner to make sure that whoever's in there abides by the rules, okay? It's a little bit more protection for you guys.
Great, thank you.
Okay, all right, so we'll close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion.
I move to recommend the approval of conditional use permit to allow for an accessory dwelling unit within the 2-family duplex residential district property located at 613 West Munson.
I'll second.
I have a motion with a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Staff updates.
Thank you, sir. The only update I have is for other commission members who weren't able to meet Justin and Nomi. Justin has been hired as our planner, and Nomi is our planning intern. They were introduced at the last commission meeting. Some of you were absent. Please feel free to get to know them after the meeting. They're doing a lot of hard work right now, reading a lot of ordinances that we all know and love. So anyways, I just wanted to make sure that you could put a name to their face. And that's all that I have for you.
All right.
I wanted to
Welcome,
add,
guys. Good to have you with us. All right. Anything else, Mary?
just one thing. We've met with Phyllis. She's provided us with some development standard topics that we need to think through a little more. So Diane and I have both provided feedback to her. We'll be meeting with her later this week and then getting her on the calendar for an upcoming meeting. So that'll be like a workshop type thing that we'll have to notice for. But just so you're aware, one of these meetings coming up here pretty soon. We'll add on like that extra 45 minutes or so to the meeting. So just take note of that if you will. I think a lot of the comments that I had back to her, it's not my decision, right? That's coming from you all and then council. So we really need your feedback on some of it as well.
So will she be able to post something probably more than the required 4 or 5 days? So we'll have a little bit of time to.
Yeah, I'll let you
work
know
it
as soon as I know, but just we'll have to post in our regular agenda.
Okay. And
Yep.
can it be posted prior to that as well, or not?
Not
So you
if
can have a
it's-
look at it, or we just set down the 4 days to review it?
If we, I can send you as much as I can.
Okay. It's just nice to be able to review that.
Oh,
so
sure.
we can
Yes, yep,
process it. a little
right,
better, so.
right.
Okay.
But it'll be noticed on the regular
Perfect.
agenda. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's it.
All right. All right, seeing no other business before the commission, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second. Mr. Sylvester, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 10:37 a.m.